An impressive Rays win against the Diamondbacks kind of follows along with the type of season that they've been having this season. A lot to discuss on today's episode as we do a halfway through the season checkpoint, if you will.
Yes, we do. It was an impressive win, but we also have to give out some Locked On Rays awards, and I know that you guys want to participate on that, so let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. You can also find us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And email us, send us a mailbag question at any time, lockedonrays@gmail.com. We won't get into it too in depth, but should acknowledge that Josh Lowe yesterday evening hit a 2-out, 2-run double in the ninth inning as the Rays miraculously won over the Diamondbacks by a score of 3-2. I didn't know if the Rays quite had it in them, but that was a special game.
I think it was a needed win, like emotionally, at least for that team that's been kind of so away from the Trop and it's a West Coast trip, and they needed that win, like emotionally, and Josh Lowe, great for him coming through, because he's had a very rough month of June. I think last time I saw him, he was dancing around 70, 75 WRC plus, which is definitely well below average. So good for Josh to get that knock.
Yeah, and credit to Pete Fairbanks for closing it out without too much major trouble. That's what you need from your ninth inning guy. But we have larger issues at play here, like running through the first half of the Rays season. We are just slightly past the midway point, so we've got a lot to discuss on this episode, such as who we believe the team's first half MVP is, who's the surprise player, who's the disappointment, and the signature moment of the first half. So let's get right into it. Ulises, who is your selection for team MVP halfway through the 2023 campaign?
Before I tell you that, I do want you guys on YouTube to hit that like button right now, please and thank you. And then also just write those four things down on the comment section: MVP, surprise, disappointment, and signature moment, and then fill it out yourselves so that we can get also your gauge on what you've thought about for the first 81 or so games of the season. Okay, so for my MVP, I went on a rabbit hole on Fangraphs and Baseball Savant, and I came up with a name that I didn't think I would come up with, and that's Zach Eflin. Okay. I think Zach Eflin has been the MVP of this team. Only 10 innings less than Shane McClanahan, who has the most, and he already had an IL stint. That's 10 innings less. That's impressive. His expected stats say that he should be better. I mean, his ERA is at a 3.35, and his expected ERA is 3.07. His FIP is at 3.38. His expected FIP is at 3.13. So that gives us hope that maybe the second half he can even punch it into gear. You saw him last night, 7 innings and 2 runs allowed. He was really, really solid once again. And I would lastly, I would like to close out with his veteran leadership. I know that those words get thrown around a lot when the guy is over 30 or has been in the league for, has been a free agent. But it did matter when the whole Wander Franco was benched. And I would believe it was I think it was Trisha who had that video on Twitter. And he was talking about Wander and how he came up to him, and he's been talking to him throughout the season. And like, he's trying to learn Spanish to connect with Wander better. That is leadership. That's exactly, and we love him, and everybody's pulling for him. Like, that is awesome. So I got to go with Zach Eflin.
I really like that choice, and he has really met and or exceeded expectations in signing that large free agent contract by Rays standards. And he's been extremely consistent, Mr. Quality Start. You can basically count on him to give you regularly 6 to 7 innings. And I think his performance so far this season has been really, really critical, because after Shane McClanahan and with the injuries to others on the starting pitching staff, it's like, who's that next guy to go to? You have we know the factor that McClanahan is, but who can kind of carry the mantle beyond that? Who can we have confidence and trust in beyond that? And Eflin's been that guy. He's been the foothold there. So, very good choice from the pitching staff end of things. I'm going to go with the obvious, or I think would be obvious choice of Wander Franco. I know with his off the field issues of late, or I guess technically on the field as well. This is an MVP, MVT, most valuable teammate, MVP. Wander Franco. He is, just run through it right now, he is third in all of baseball in WARD, behind Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna. And something that's really stuck out this season is the defense. He is in the 100th percentile in outs above average. We see the range, we see the routine plays, we see the diving stops. I mean, there's been a lot of, not just offensively, but defensively, I think he's taken a step forward. And it got me thinking of, we had discussions previously over the last couple of years of, based on Wander's build and others on the come up, of how long will he be a shortstop. But based on what he's done so far this season, I get the inkling that he may be playing that position for, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 games. It might not just be 3-4 seasons and we move you to third or second, but so.
Yeah, no, I again, good pick for, to give it to Wander. And you guys can go on my Twitter page and type in Gold Glove or Wander Franco, and I bet you're going to see Gold Glove Wander Franco mentions since 2021. Yeah. I do believe that he has that in him. That step forward that you're talking about is definitely noticeable in 2023. The guy's going to win a Gold Glove. He is that type of caliber player. And to think, people wanted to, Taylor Walls needs to be the shortstop. Like, hey, love Taylor Walls' glove, but this is a franchise player that can give you very good defense. When a ball's hit to short, I'm never like, oh no, Wander, is he going to make a mistake? Never. Yeah. It's really awesome to have that.
No, it really is great. And hopefully he gets everything else together and continues the trajectory that he is on. All right, we have more to discuss on this episode, but first we have to tell you about something very, very important, and that is Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You can buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are completely set. And then tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through that email of yours. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download that Game Time app today. Last minute ticket deals, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, getting into surprise player of the first half of 2023. Ulises, who is your selection for this?
This one was tough because I think there were a lot of good candidates for this one. I had to, in the end, kind of pick the guy that had the most consistency / improvement to call him a surprise because he kept going. And that has to be Isaac Paredes. I mean, what an incredible season this guy's having, and he is getting better. Look, when you look month to month, the walk percentages keep rising, 5% to 7% to now a stupid 18.6%. The K rate from 19.6, 17.2, 17.4. So that's stable right there. I like that. The batting average 269, 269, 262. Again, constant. But both the on-base percentage and the slugging have gone up every single month. Now he's right now at 367 on base and a 492 for the first half. That's an OPS of 859. This is a guy who, yes, he co-led home runs, so it might be like, oh, well, how can this be a surprise? Well, because he was kind of like a one-trick pony thing,
Right.
Now he's more of a developed overall really good player. And when you're saying like, oh, I don't think he's that. Well, you know what? If you were to say, who is the third highest in WAR of this team? You would probably say, well, I don't know. It can't be Wander. Wander's number one. And then you would say, well, Randy's probably number two. Oh, three's probably Yandy or Shane McClanahan or Zach Eflin. It's Isaac Paredes. Isaac Paredes is number 3 in F4 right now. So it's really good what he's done. His WRC plus in the first half is 146. That's 46% better than the average MLB player. I think this guy has to be the surprise.
Great minds think alike. I think that you could have a lot of other candidates or several other candidates out there. You could mention Luke Raley. You could mention Josh Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
You could mention others as well. Maybe Jose Siri's just overall power and some of the moments that he's had. But I'm with you on Isaac Paredes. I think that he just has not, after what he did last season, team co-leader in homers, I had the feeling that it was kind of a fluky nature, the one-trick pony vibe, but he has built off and continued that. And I know that his BABIP actually is up more than 100 points this season compared to last season. I wonder how much of that, if any of that, is due to the shift restrictions. Maybe that's allowed more balls to get through holes. But just his approach to, you mentioned it, the strikeout rate, the walk rate, doesn't chase. And he can do, it's not just, he can only turn and burn on a fastball up and in. Like, we're seeing him stay back on breaking balls up and away and either pulling them or, just finding a way to put them in play. And I know that more people would maybe like to see the all fields approach, but his pull heavy approach is working, and I think it's going to continue to work. And offensively, I think it's right there. We've seen some clutch, big time step up moments, and I still, it's kind of funny because even with the numbers that he's put forth this first half, I still don't know if he's getting enough love and discussion as of yet, because something that doesn't, I guess, get talked about enough is the consistency on defense as well. I think he has more athleticism and feel than he is given credit for, and being able to be stable at third base and occasionally go over to first and second base. But I think the Rays having confidence in him handling the third base position there, the hot corner, that allows Yandy to settle in at first and just focus on, hey, I don't have to focus so much on the defensive end of things, and I can really elevate my game offensively. So I'm a big Isaac Paredes fan, and I think that back in the offseason we had talks of maybe let's try to bring back Evan Longoria, and I think the front office maybe saw and had something there of, there's really no need to do that, because we do see Isaac Paredes being a really, really solid member of this group, in addition to some of the prospects that are on the come up. So, I like that choice.
Also, Kevin, he's 24 years old. So, like, this is his true, okay, I'm in the big leagues. I'm a so regular in the lineup. And he's putting up these types of numbers. Like, this guy's got potential, and it'd be great to see if he can, get some more at bats. Obviously, you're going to get more at bats when you're swinging the bat like he has, not only like the whole year, but in June especially. He can be difference maker. And I like that he is a number 5, number 6 hole hitter, just like when Siri is batting 8th or 9th, makes the lineup a little bit deeper. To have those guys in those positions, because then you don't, first of all, mentally you don't put so much pressure on them.
Right.
And second of all, the pitcher themselves, they start to kind of, okay, we're going in the bottom part of the lineup, or and that can help them too. So no, I think I've been way impressed with Isaac Paredes, and I think that he's not getting a lot of spotlight. It's because he's kind of a very quiet, spoken,
goes about
person.
his business type.
Yeah, I mean, and also you can't see him,
Right,
so then that also works. Yeah.
No, I think it's great, and I'll be really curious to see what the Rays have in store for him the next couple of years from now. But he is a reliable run producer, and I like that you mentioned that sticking him in the 5-6 hole really alleviates some of that pressure off of him, while still allowing him to contribute in significant moments of the game. But with so much attention to Yandy and Wander and Randy and others, Paredes, kind of, gets lost in the fold. And, it's sort of the case with the Yankees and Aaron Judge and others. Like you focus on the big names, and then there's other guys that come up and contribute that surprise you as well. So, we'll see, and hopefully it continues with Paredes. It'd be really neat if he can get to beyond 20 home runs, maybe get 22 to 25. I think that might be going back to it just real quickly, what Paredes did last year, I thought that was like his absolute peak. Like he would never do anything beyond that. And I know that, some of the multi-home run games, it's like, he's not really going to be able to repeat or replicate that, but he's definitely proven us wrong thus far in that angle. And I think he's been pretty solid against lefties and righties this season.
Well, and again, like the whole thing about Isaac too was like, the 20 home runs, one trick pony, and it's always like, oh, he's so streaky. Like for 2 weeks, he'll be the best player in baseball, and then he'll peter off. It's like, again, look at the splits month by month. March and April, 125 WRC plus. May, 137. June, 180. The guy's just hitting. The guy's just been incredible. He's way above average, and so hopefully he can keep going like this, because, again, we need as many bats as possible once we get to October.
That is accurate for sure. All right, moving along here. Biggest disappointment of the 2023 campaign thus far, besides the team losing that first game after starting 13-0, giving away the 162-0 potential.
We know we have to do this award. I don't know if it's an award. I guess Razzies are an award, and they're not that great.
It's designation.
It's a designation. I don't like giving it. We have to do it. Look, say you're a player and your peak is a 4.9 F4. Say you're in middle of the order bat. Say that you're a power threat. And say that you've only played 60% of the team's games. Has to be Brandon Lau.
Oh, he's still on the team?
Right. Point taken. Look, this is his, and not only like, oh man, I'm only picking him because he hasn't played, he hasn't posted. Well, even when he was posting, let's look at his numbers. This is the worst batting average he's ever had at 205. You don't care about average? Okay. Do you care about on-base percentage? Because it's his worst at 299. Oh, you don't care about on-base percentage? Do you care about xwOBA? Because it's his worst at 309. Oh, you don't care about that? What about his base running? Well, it's his worst at 0.2. Oh, you don't care about that? You care about slugging? It's his second worst slugging ever at 398. And for the first time in his career, if you don't care about any of that, and you're like, no, I'm a WRC plus guy, tell me what he's at. He's at 99. For the first time in his career, he's actually below average. In fact, yesterday, he had his first game in AAA against Johnny Cueto, who ended up giving up 8 runs in 4 1/3 with 7 hits. And 7 total runs, 8 hits in 4 1/3. And Brandon Lau struck out 3 times. I mean, It's not great. Again, it's first game back. He's probably working through things, just watching pitches, whatever. Like the 3Ks is nothing. It's just like a little cherry on top information for you guys to just chew on. The numbers are there for the 50 games that he played in MLB this year, and they're not good, Kevin.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's good selection, quote unquote. Yeah, it's unfortunate with Brandon Lau. He's totally been out of sight, out of mind since the injury popped up. Like I totally forgot to think about him on the roster. And it's weird. I don't know how much. I mean, you mentioned, I guess, how much time he's missed or how the lack of availability, but it just seems like, I don't know, recency bias. Like, has he even been on the team this year? Has he even contributed? Like, it is so far. I have not even focused on Brandon Lau because I just do not have a lot of confidence and positivity that even when he returns to the big league club, how productive he'll be, because I think that the injury, the back issues, and trying to get back into the swing of things, I think it's going to take a while. And I don't know. And I mean, we probably can't count on him stepping up in the playoffs either, quite frankly, based on his history. So that's unfortunate. I'm not going to give this designation to any one player. You could go with Brandon Lau. You could go with a member or multiple members of the bullpen. But I will, and it's kind of funny that we're highlighting so much negative here, the disappointment with as good as this team's been. But there's always something that can be focused on and improved upon. But what sticks out to me is just the injuries to the rotation. For me, it's a what could have been scenario for the, so much hype and fanfare about 1 through 5. The Rays finally have a solidified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 that you can count upon and rely upon, and hopefully take pressure off the bullpen. And what we saw from, first, I guess it happened in spring training where Glasnow had a setback with his oblique injury. That was
right.
Poor negative news. And then so early in the season, we see the devastating blows to Jeffrey Springs in April, Drew Rasmussen in May. And it's like, man, it really just kind of puts a sour on the rest of the season when that happens, where you have an injury. Like if this had happened, I don't know. I guess it'd be worse if it happened in, September. And it's like, what do we do? At least this gives the Rays time to kind of regroup and see where the team's at. But it's just, to me, unfortunate that we couldn't see this 1 through 5 together, because it really would have been remarkable.
It would have been amazing. And we got to see 4 of them for 2.5 weeks. It was fantastic. Well, maybe not even a month.
There was a reason the team was 13-0, among others. The offense, I'm sure, contributed as well to that. But
right, but like when you just have a starting for you, it's very difficult to put clunkers together. It can happen, but no, I think that's a disappointment too. Very well. I thought actually you were going with the whole benching clubhouse atmosphere, like how that's going. Like that's a disappointment. And look, I want to touch on something that you said just now. Such a great season, and we're focused on disappointment. Like we're not. We gave MVP, we gave surprise player. We're going to give a signature moment, but I feel like we're not just going to just highlight. I think
it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, I think there are some outlets that are just spreading toxicity by positivity, or positivity by toxicity, however you want to say it. And that's not us. If you just want to look at rainbows and sunshines, and that's cool, do that. We're not going to do that. We've never done that. And I'm really proud that we've never done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'd really be unfortunate. I'd like to see what those people that spew that stuff say if it happens where, the Rays win 105 games in the regular season, but they get ousted in the first round of the playoffs. Where's your comments then? I want to see the Rays actually follow through on all this.
I know.
There's things that can be improved as you go into the playoffs, because isn't it about getting that ring?
I can tell you already what they would say. They would say, well, at small sample size, it was a 3-game series. It was a 5-game series. And, am I going to take 5 games into account when they played 162 and they've won 105 games? No, I think it was 105 games, and it's a great – that's what they're going to say, probably in that same voice.
Fun stuff. Yeah. All right. No, I'm glad you addressed that, Alf there. So we have disappointment out of the way. Now, signature moment of the first half. What do you got?
That ride. The ride in the beginning of the season. 1-0, 2-0, 3-4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you win the 13th in a row. You tie the best record to opening a season. There are names like the whole ride, but obviously that 13th was so cool because you get to, I mean, I've never heard of the New York Gothams, and I know none of you Locked On Race listeners knew about the New York Gothams. That's so cool. You know, when you're being compared to teams you haven't heard from the 1800s. So I think that's a signature moment to just kind of put your stamp on the season and get people to start talking about you. I know in the beginning it was like, oh, you know, they're only playing, soft teams and it's a soft schedule. Well, look, it's June 29th, very early in the morning as we're recording this. And guess what? Still the best record in baseball.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was definitely quite the highlight. And the moment that I have, because that is certainly up there, but a little bit after that was back in early May where the Rays were facing the Yankees, and the Yankees had a 6-0 lead with Garrett Cole on the mound, and they blew it. And the Rays beat the Yankees 8-7 in 10 innings before the largest crowd on hand at the Trop in the season. It might still be the largest at like 32,000 in change. And, it's funny because Garrett Cole was basically unstoppable through that outing and up to that point during the course of the season, hadn't given up a home run in 50 plus innings. And then Jose Siri opens the lid on that before reinforcements come through from the likes of Christian Bethancourt, and I believe it was Isaac Paredes that ultimately walked it all off. So it was that was really, really special, and to me really sticks out because we hear it all the time. The old adage is if you don't get to an elite pitcher early, good luck, you can forget about it. And when a guy like Garrett Cole is rolling through inning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however long it is, it's like, oh, well, we're just going to hang him up today. Like that had clunker written all over it. It basically was a clunker at that point in the game. And for the Rays to be able to come back and throw a blow to the Yankees and devastate them and their confidence that was big to me.
No, 100%. I love that pick. And yeah, you would never put green Skittles on the other team when it's Garrett Cole with a 6-run lead, right? Like it's just not going to happen. I like that pick. I think it's again against the Yankees. So again, everybody that's listening, I know if you're on the live chat right now, you might be writing it on the live chat. That doesn't stay. So make sure to write your MVP, your surprise player, your disappointment, and your signature moment on the comment box section, not the live chat. The live chat will just disappear. So make sure to write it in the comments and make sure to hit that like button to help us beat that algorithm and get to more Rays fans.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening, making us a part of your day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.